75 years of independence, and it's great to see Indian car makers on the top of their game. We're here today in UK, in Banbury, to see 5 new EVs. This is Mahindra's electric future, and it's all going to be based off this, which is InGlow, which is the skateboard platform that they're basing their future electric cars off. In and Glow because it's Indian, an Indian make, and it wants to go global. So that's what InGlow really stands for. And as you can see, this is the platform. Well, it's a makeup of the platform. In the center, you'll have the battery pack. You can see motors at both ends because predominantly the cars will be rear wheel driven, but they're also going to have all wheel drive versions, which means you'll have one motor at the front and one motor at the back. You're going to get 2 kinds of battery capacities. You're going to get 60 kilowatt hour. You're also going to get an 80 kilowatt hour battery, and range of course is going to vary from about 435 to about 460, 70, 80. But in the Indian testing range, they've already got around 675 kilometers. The earlier 400 to 470, which I mentioned, was the WLTP range. So in Indian conditions, like you can see, they've got a hell of a lot of range, and Mahindra are really aiming to make these cars the best that they have made. In many of the features, they're claiming that the skateboard platform is one of the lightest that there has ever been. They're claiming that dynamically and safety-wise, it will also have top-of-the-line ratings. So I think what we're looking at is truly a global product from Mahindra. And we can begin with, take a look at this, okay? This is the BE05. BE, Born Electric, because these are going to be the born electric cars. These are going to be the cars that are ground up built to be EVs, not conversions, not just based off another platform and a top hat of a previous car. That one that you see on the other hand, that is the XUV 700. It has the top hat parts of the XUV 700, but of course the InGlow base, because now all the EVs from Mahindra are going to have the InGlow platform. So Born Electric is their cars that are going to be built, like I said, ground up to be electric. And this is the first one that we've seen, BE05. Pratap Bose described let me stand corrected, described it as an SUV on steroids, and it definitely looks like that. I mean, just come around the side. You've got to see it from the side to really realize what I'm saying. It is sharp, it's edgy, it's funky, and it definitely grabs eyeballs. I mean, when I looked at it for about 2 minutes, I was in complete silence because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And that's what this car does to you. It just draws you in. Look at all the sharp cuts, curves, creases, lines. There's just so many things that grab your attention. A lot of details for aero as well. We see a large vent over here. Bonnet rakes down steeply to the front, and then you see a large aero vent over there. Up front, you have the Scorpion Sting lamps of Mahindra that we've been seeing, and you can see that detail over here. And the entire detail has this sort of panel that accentuates it and gives you that Mahindra face that we've been used to seeing. Of course, the rest of it is all blackened out because you don't need air vents for any cooling, because this is a EV. So more of it is the aerodynamics, the cooling of the battery from underneath, and you see a lot of diffusers and things here for aero as well. Around the side, let's take a look. You have again very, 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 very large wheels. I doubt that this will be the size that we see in India, because Indian roads not going to be able to deal with this. So this pattern design is something that I really like, and I hope details like this actually come into the real car. Pratap Bose keeps telling us that it's 90% of what you see here is what you're going to get, and I believe him because he's done it before. But interesting details like this would make our cars quite different, wouldn't they? You get nice black cladding, and of course side view mirrors aren't mirrors, they're cameras, because this is the future. It's different. And you get the flush door handles, swipe to connect, probably will be app based, so you can just sort of walk up to your car and it will open. Down the bottom you see large again accent black cladding, makes it very strong, makes it very sporty. You see again the ribbed kind of vents here, and you see InGlow architecture. Yeah, that is the badging because it's based off the InGlow platform. Coming down to the rear, you see this raked roofline, very sporty, kind of evoke-ish if you look at it from the side. It gives you a little bit of that feeling, but yeah, it comes raking down steeply to the rear, and the diffusers have an interesting design at the rear. If you take a look at them, this is all done for aerodynamics, yeah. And you can take a look underneath. You see the similar kind of pattern that you see on the tires, which I showed you. You see them under the rear spoilers as well. At the back, again, once again, a very large, chunky, massive tailgate, yeah. I mean, this just looks huge, and there's big expanses of metal around it. So the central portion is large, and it's just kind of outlined by the lights that go right around it. And once again, you have the stop lamp, which is ribbed. So a lot of this ribbing design and patterns that you see all over the car, which make it pretty interesting. Well, that was the rear. We still have to take a look at the interior, but before I go inside, let me tell you when you can expect this car. It's going to come in October 2025. That's a long way away, and the wheelbase of this car is 2.7 meters, fairly spacious on the inside. Let's go take a look at that inside. So getting into what is the buck for the BE05, and I'm being very gentle because this is a prototype, and what you see here is really a cockpit that feels very Formula One or open seater style. The entire part of the dashboard surrounds you, it sort of cocoons you. You really feel like you're sitting in a race car, and that is the aesthetic of the BE05. What Pratap Bose told us was it is a race car on steroids. Very interesting handles over here. These seem to be like cloth finished handles. The buttons, of course, here on this very large panel in the door. There are door pockets that I see below this. One single cup holder. I guess this would be your transmission lever, or probably that. This probably may be for your drive modes, and that would probably be your transmission lever. Again, very aircraft cockpit style transmission lever over here. I mean, almost ready for takeoff is what I feel when I hold it. So completely different. And here there isn't that edge-to-edge screen, but it still is a very large single pane screen, something that you've seen like in the XUV 700. You've already seen something like this from Mahindra and Mahindra. And of course, you're going to have oodles of connected tech and features that come with this. Now, if you look above me, the entire roof is open, and I'm guessing because it's going to be one pane of glass in there. So you'll get this nice panoramic sunroof, which will give you a really airy feeling inside this car. And then, of course, you can see the back seats. Looks like there's good enough space for three. A thing to notice, typical of electric cars, floorboard is flat, so your third passenger will get ample leg room. So I think, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting one. I think the BE05 will be a car that will really set Mahindra apart. Well, that's the first of the born electric cars of Mahindra and Mahindra that you have seen. Pretty edgy, sharp, and definitely exciting, isn't it? Leave us your comment, tell us what you think, and do remember to hit the like button. And stay tuned because we're bringing you many more of these videos. Remember, I told you there are 5 cars.